Greetings, 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 greetings. Peace, peace, peace to the gods and goddesses. Peace to everyone. Peace. Hoping y'all have a beautiful, 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 beautiful grand rising. Great and grand rising. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm getting kind of hoarse because of the cold weather, being out in the field. Just came in from training. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. Hold on one second, fam. Let me turn these lights down, something, because this joint is bright, unforgivable. All right, greetings, fam. This is Professor Griffin. Of course, y'all already know this is On the Masses, brought to you by Black Power Media Reloaded. Shout out to my man Kalaji, making all of this happen. When he makes it happen, however it got to happen, but it's happening. All right. Once again, y'all got to excuse my cat. What is it? What kind of training? Self-defense training, some firearm training. All right. Kind of training you doing? All right. Anyway, shout out to everyone. Let me know where y'all checking in from, and then we can start this conversation. Today we're going to be talking about the psychology of self-hate. The psychology of self-hate. All right, the psychology of self-hate. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. But right now, let me know where you checking in from. All right. Somebody said weight training. No, that's for chumps. All right. Rochester, New York. Man, Rochester. I went to school in Rochester. Super Micah J. I went to East High. Yeah, don't talk to me about East High. It was ugly. Raleigh, North Carolina, Virginia Highlands, in the ATL, the Highlands checking in. All right. North of England, the UK, Richie doing his thing. All right. Hold on. All right. Anyway, Las Vegas checking in. Z, what's good with you, Z? Yeah, we're going to do that this weekend, Z. Sunday evening. We'll make that free firearms class happen this Sunday, 7 o'clock. ATL checking in Chicago, the Shy. All right. Washington, D.C. Yo, we need some music behind this or something. Hold on for a second, man. This is looking and sounding kind of dry up in here. Hold on for a second. Kansas City checking in. Yo, I don't know about them Chiefs. They may not last, fam. I don't know. They just looking kind of, I don't know. They walking, but they barely walking. Anyway, hey, a win is a win, right? I guess a W is a W. Lisa from the UK. Peace, Lisa. All right. Hampton, Virginia, the 757 checking in. All right. I want to attend the free class. How do I get the information? All right. Brown Eyes, the Brooklyn girl. You got to email me at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. That's SIRIUSMINDZ info@gmail.com. seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com to take the free firearms class this weekend. Baltimore checking in. BMO. Yeah, BMO careful. Your D. Detroit. All right. Tanya Mathis, peace. What's good with you, fam? All right. Brown Eyes, Brooklyn girls. I want in. Yeah, we gotta get the information seriously. While y'all doing that, I'm doing a pop-up. I'm doing a pop-up on Wednesday. We're gonna be dealing with the Book of Wisdom, and of course, I'm gonna integrate that with symbology for everyone that signed up and sent me the email for the free symbology class. I got y'all. Y'all don't have to pay. Everyone else, y'all gotta throw a little something my way. All right, a little something, not a lot. A little something. All right. Kansas City, man. A couple of people from Kansas City checking in. KCMO in the building. All right. No, not Serious Mind. You spelled it wrong, cat. SIRIUS. The Serious Minds Info. All right. Serious Minds Info. SIRIUS. USMINDZ info@gmail.com. All right. Hope y'all didn't spend all your money. I hope y'all didn't buy a whole bunch of food where you still got leftovers for the next 2 weeks. All right. Then I know Black Friday hit y'all. All right. Some of y'all returned a lot of that stuff on Saturday, but today is Cyber Monday, so hope y'all doing all right. Save a little bit of chump change so we can do this mutual exchange of energy. All right, on Wednesday. Let me see. SIRIUSMIN. No, cat. Damn. Minds, cat. MINDZ info@gmail.com. Killing me, cat. Anyway, York, PA. I've been to York, PA, Tracy Lee. Kind of boring. No, seriously, just kind of boring. I'm just saying. Eastern PA, checking in, wherever that's at. I'm not sure. All right. Anyway, the psychology of self-hate. What I'm going to need everyone to do right now is look up Dr. Amos Wilson. Look up Dr. Amos Wilson, the psychology of self-hate. All right. While y'all doing that, I'm going to spray my hands with this solution. I've already washed them in cold waters with a lot of soap to get the lead out of my pores. This is what you got to do after you finish. After you finish letting that heat go, all right? Some of y'all still got firearms that are still in the closet, still in the box, way up in the closet with the ammo. Y'all killing me. Nah, y'all are killing me. Seriously. We need to train, fam. All right? We need to train. Get you some of these. All right? You kind of work, get it kind of fit your head. All right? Get you some boots. All right? You might get a mask or two. All right? But you got to, yeah. Get you some ammo. I got some targets for y'all. Come on. We got to train. All right? Anyway, we'll talk about that Wednesday. Matter of fact, Sunday, 7 o'clock in the firearms class. I'll talk to y'all about everything y'all going to need so we can begin this training. Right now, we need to start doing some open hand combat kind of stuff at home. All right? I can give y'all some tips on how you can start there. Brothers, now that you done went through the Thanksgiving and you done disrespected the Native Americans, eating all the turkey on Thursday and all that kind of stuff, at least you could have did it on Wednesday. Show some kind of level of respect. You got fat on Thursday, then on Friday you spent all your daggone money. All right. So then I'm saying to y'all, show up on Sunday, a small donation or whatever you got to do. Come take the class so we can begin. All right. I'm gonna put some stuff in front of me on film that y'all need to have so we can start the training. You can start right at home. It don't take a lot. I've seen one old dude doing chair exercises. He started in a chair. All right, we're going to let you know what you need to be eating for your health, what you need to be consuming, and that kind of thing. We're going to let y'all know the equipment that you're going to need. Anyway, in the meantime, between time, the psychology of self-hate. When we talk about the idea, it's a different kind of hate, self-hate that you might be thinking of, fam. All right, so let me clear that up. Hold on, let me turn the music down. It's a different kind of hate that I'm talking about. It's the kind of self-hate that most of us, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to mince any words, all right? Most of us hate one another. I'm talking about those of us with this complexion. Most of us hate one another more than them other people hate us. How is it that you hate yourself more than your open enemy hates you? And I'm just saying to you, all right, we don't have to hate at all, but you at least have to be able to reprogram your mindset to not hate what the Creator deposited in you. He gave you this beautiful black skin for a reason. Do you understand the cosmic connection to what we're walking around with. I'm talking about this high concentration of melanin, this high concentration of carbon, all right? This high concentration of what the Creator deposited in us. Man, you don't even really truly understand the power that you have, all right? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is the idea now of the psychological aspects and the effects of what happens to the nervous system when these thoughts enter into your mind, that you begin to now hate yourself, hate what you look like. All right? So let's understand the dynamic in what we're dealing with today. So when we talk about the psychology of self-hate through the lens of a Dr. Amos Wilson, we have to understand. So what I'm going to do right now is let everyone know, if you want, shout out to everyone that sent me the email that wanted the information for the last 3 shows. Y'all kept me busy for a couple of hours putting the information together to send it out to y'all, but I really appreciate that. And thanks to everyone for their small donations. One brother sent me $2. If that's all the brother can afford, because he had to get some Captain Crunch cereal to survive over the weekend because he couldn't afford Thanksgiving. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you for your sacrifice, good bro. All right, but I'm saying to y'all, some of y'all got it and still want the information, and you don't want to reciprocate the energy. All right, it's just exchange of energy. Anyway, I'm gonna save that one for last. Can we start out with Dr. Amos Wilson, the falsification of African consciousness? So let me just talk to you. Who, as Malcolm said, who got you to hate your black self? Answer that question for me. Who? Thank you. Malcolm said it best. I'm glad you said it right. Who got you to hate your black self? Who taught you to hate your black self? I'm just putting it in a search engine because y'all can pull it up like I'm pulling it up. Malcolm X.
But when someone attacks you, when someone comes at you with a club, when someone comes at you with a rope, when someone comes at you with a gun, despite the fact that you've done nothing, he tells you, suffer peacefully.
How can you donate?
Pray for those who use you despite you. Be long suffering. And how long can you suffer after suffering for 400 years? So I just want to play off that little point right there. Because he says that we play on your emotions. And when you turn on your television tonight, or your radio, or read the newspaper, they're going to tell you in that paper that I was playing on your emotions. Imagine you, a second-class citizen. That's not getting emotional, it's getting intelligent.
That's right.
And as far as your mayor is concerned, I should say their mayor, a man named Jordan, who has been slandering the Muslims, a professional liar, a professional liar. Who has mastered the art of using half-truth. Put it in the paper that they broke into our religious place of worship and got records that they can use to prove that most of us have criminal records.
Let me stop right there. When Malcolm X talks the way he talked, in the way he needed to talk to get past the degree of ignorance of our own people, all right? Malcolm X was right on point. Dr. Amos Wilson coming behind Malcolm, he's talking about the falsification of African consciousness. After they plundered Africa and went into Africa and stole our treasures to put them in museums, all right? Then turn around, peace. What's up, guy? You good, bro? All right. I thought about you today, guy, when I was at the range, man. All right, we need to talk. We'll talk, guy. Anyway, the whole idea of what Malcolm X was dealing with at that particular time was what we're talking about today when we talk about the psychology of self-hate, simply because they made you feel a certain kind of way every single time the word black is mentioned. You feel some kind of way. So much so, there are people running around here right now talk about, well, I ain't black. That's the color of a crayon. Wow. Every time they mention the word black, or you say the word black, something happens to your nervous system where you begin the whole idea and the process of hating your black self. So then they taught us not to hate our hair after not giving us the damn comb for 400 years. Imagine not combing your hair for 400 years. I'm getting kind of amped. Let me turn the volume down. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, family, can you imagine not combing your hair for 400 years? So much so that when you did get a comb, you looked at Becky Ann and Ashley and Jennifer and the rest of them for so long, you wanted to look like them. And this is what we're witnessing today. All right? With black women wearing blonde hair and wanting to look like white women. So I'm saying to y'all, when you hate yourself that much that you dye and fry your hair, slick it down to the point where it's straight and lifeless, all right, as opposed to your beautiful, nappy, kinky, curly hair that spirals to connect with the cosmic forces, you got a psychological problem, all right? You got the falsification of African consciousness because someone taught you to hate Africa, thus you hate aspects of yourself. Someone told you, well, you African. You're like, no, I ain't never been to Africa. Like, wow. I ain't never been to Africa either because Africa's in me. Everywhere I go, Africa goes. What are you talking about? Well, I'm from the Virgin Islands. You still African. And? But some of you don't want to claim Africa, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just less people that we have to deal with. All right? Plain and simple. You're not going to tell the Irishman that he's not from Ireland, even though he's never been to Ireland, or the Englishman, or any of these other people. I'm just saying to you, they made you hate your black self. They made you hate your beautiful, juicy black lips. They made you hate your nose, and all of us ain't got the same nose. There's 150,000 different shades of black coming out of Africa. We're not one complexion. We're not a monolith. You understand what I'm saying? We're not a people that's just narrow and straight and flat and plain and linear. All right? There's various hues, 150,000 shades. We speak 1,000 different dialects on the continent. All right? We blacker than 150,000 shades of midnight. We tease and tan. We beautiful brown. And as Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad say, we light, bright, and damn near white. You understand what I'm saying? Because we cover the whole color spectrum. This is who we are as a people because everyone else comes from us. But as soon as someone calls you black, you got a problem. You start digesting and processing the idea of self-hate. So you start digging up documents of where your family come from, and you don't want to claim Africa. You want to claim every place else. Sad.
You can't be a Negro in America and not have a criminal record.
I knew he was going to come back like that. He said, you can't be a Negro in America without a criminal record. All right? They made being black. They criminalized black. Tell me I'm lying. Yes, they have. You could just walk in a neighborhood, walking while black. You could sell lemonade on the side as a 7, 8-year-old. All right? The mere fact that you black, you a criminal. According to racist and white supremacy. All right?
Martin Luther King has been to jail. Please. James Farmer has been to jail.
Yep.
Why, you can't name a black man in this country who is sick and tired of the hell that he's catching who hasn't been to jail. Charged him with being seditious. They put Moses in jail. They put Daniel in jail.
Okay.
Why, you haven't got a man of God in the Bible that wasn't put to jail when they started speaking out against exploitation and oppression.
Exactly. So if jail is the thing that you fear, what you're going to do as this intellectual, whatever you claim, Democrat or Republican, you're going to sit on your hands, you're going to zip your mouth closed, you're going to work your 9 to 5, and you're just going to take whatever they give you. So when it comes time to round us up, you're nowhere to be found. But after we neutralize that situation, we're going to come looking for you to ask you a few questions. That's all we're going to do. We're going to ask a few questions. What's wrong with asking a few questions? Ain't nothing wrong with asking a few questions. Let me tell you, when they come to round us up, they're not going to ask you whether you're a Moor or you're a Hebrew Israelite, you're a church or a Church of God in Christ or Jehovah's Wickedness or whatever you claim to be. They're not going to ask you whether you're a Republican, Democrat, what sorority or fraternity you belong to, whether you're a Mason, Elk, Shriner, whatever. They're not going to ask you that. They're going to see that you're black and they're going to deal with you, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and goddamn simple. Get used to the idea. You're gonna be right behind the wall. No, I ain't gonna be behind the wall. I started to say you're gonna be behind the wall with me. I ain't going behind no damn wall. It's gonna be on and popping wherever I stand.
They charged Jesus with sedition. Didn't they do that? They said he was against Caesar. They said he was discriminating because he told his disciples, go not the way of the Gentiles, but rather go to the lost sheep. He discriminated. Don't go near the Gentiles, go to the lost sheep. Go to the oppressed.
That's right.
Go to the downtrodden.
Come on.
Go to the exploited.
Teach, brother.
Go to the people who don't know who they are.
That's right.
Who are
the people who don't know who they are. That would be you. That would be me. That would be us. Once upon a time, we was in the muck and mire of this wicked civilization until we got a knowledge of self, and then we stood up. All right? Never to go back to being asleep again. This is what we meant when we say we are awake, we're woke. Not that other madness. Once upon a time, I was dead, lost. Then I heard the teachings and then I woke up. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with waking up. There's a period of time where you knew you were dead and had to wake up. But now we're faced with this whole idea of the psychology of self-hatred.
Lost from the knowledge of themselves and who are strangers in a land that is not theirs. Go to those people. Go to the slaves. Go to the second-class citizens. Go to the ones who are suffering the brunt of Caesar's brutality. And if Jesus were here in America today, he wouldn't be going to the white man. The white man is the oppressor. He would be going to the oppressed. He would be going to the humble. He would be going to the lowly. He would be going to the rejected and the despised. He would be going to the so-called American Negro. Than any other neighborhood, yet it has more crime in it than any other neighborhood. How can you have more cops and more crime?
We're going to check back in with Malcolm. All right? We're going to dive into Dr. Amos Wilson. We're going to put that. Listen, you have to get Dr. Amos Wilson's work in order to understand what we're dealing with. Not only the falsification of African consciousness, because it has been falsified. All right? All of the great things that took place on the African continent prior to dealing with the colonizer. They made it seem like we accomplished absolutely nothing. So now we have social media, and we're pulling this information up and we're putting it in front of our people, educating our people to let them know that no, these people that you talk about built the pyramids and all these other things. All right. Black people, I offered a challenge to white people last week before they, peace, Quan, what's good with you? You all right? I offered a challenge to white people. Hold on for a second, fam. I offered a challenge to white people. Can you go, white people, listen to me. Stop that. Becky, put the damn coffee down. Listen. I challenge white people to go 24 hours and not use anything that black people didn't create. Shortly after that, Lisa came up on Instagram, said something fly out her mouth, and they end up putting me in Instagram jail. It's all right, though. Because as Malcolm just said, the best of us have went to jail. I'm not worried about that. Y'all should be going to YouTube and pulling up Dr. Amos Wilson. Follow me now. Work with me. The psychology of self-hate. Let's see. All right, Dr. Amos Wilson on self-hatred. We're gonna dive into it. Give me a second, fam. So when I offered the challenge to white people, Reese Palmer, thanks for the $5, man. I really appreciate that, man. I can get me a veggie patty today or something. Thanks to Mr. Reese Palmer. Thank you. Anyway, fam. Quan, you good? Salute, Quan. I offered a challenge to white people. Go 24 hours. Do not use anything that black people have created. I got a couple of hate text messages, a couple of hate emails, which I'm not going to dignify. I'm not going to read them live on the air. It's all right. I can take that. I'm good. But you still haven't proven me wrong, though. There's a whole book on black inventors. Hold on. Let me see if I can locate the other book. I'm kind of like operating. Hold on. I'll pull it up for y'all in just 1 second. The black man and woman created everything. Everything. You see, when you start talking about the psychology of self-hatred, and we start talking about the falsification of African consciousness, it leads to what Amos Wilson talks about, how racism and white supremacy have to produce a set of characters. Who are these characters? The Nene Leakes and the Serena Williams and all these other people, the K. Michelle's and all these people that's dyeing and frying their hair and bleaching their skin and all this kind of madness. I talked about it in my book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, because it's a real thing. I'm not downing them. We love them, but we need to point some things out. That's way when you look in the mirror and if you don't love your black self, it's a problem. Hold on. White people, y'all still there? Come closer. Black people invented every damn thing. Black people invented every damn thing. Go 24 hours and not use something that black people created. All right? Let's understand this particular dynamic. All right? So for the people that's putting up this nonsense on the chat, let me just say it like this here. Because y'all getting personable. This is very personal. When I say black, I mean the essence of who we are. Not the surface stuff that you might read in a Black Law dictionary or whatever. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about that thing that connects with the cosmic forces. All right? That's moving planets and stars and all that kind of stuff around. All right? That's not diametrically, pardon me, wrong use of words. That's tied in and in sync with the electromagnetic field that surrounds the earth. The same electromagnetic field that surrounds the body is connected. That black I'm talking about. That deep, dark chocolate, triple darkness black. All right, not some corny definition somewhere. I ain't talking about that. All right, you can argue over that. I ain't arguing about that. All right, but black people created every damn thing. So when you start talking about the psychology of self-hate, all right, those black people that created these things didn't have the self-hatred going on while they was creating this thing. They saw a need for it, and we created the cotton gin. We saw a need for it, and we created the blender, or the traffic light, or the elevator, or the refrigerator. Need I go on? Or the afro pick, to pick your nappy afro, your nappy locks, your happy nappy stuff. All right? But Amos Wilson talked about racism, white supremacy, creating a set of characters that works in conjunction with racism, white supremacy, so they don't have to physically be here to make sure their system is running smooth. They create these people's toms, coons, mulattoes, mammies, and bucks to speak for them. So they don't have to physically be here. You're right, Kwan. We're phenomenal and fly, whatever shade we are. They produce the toms and the coons and the mulattoes and the mammies and the bucks. They produce these kind of individuals because racism, white supremacy have to produce these characters to protect it from you and I. Because when we see it, we're like, sis, what are you doing? Come on, Miss Nene, what are you doing? Hold up, I gotta put a picture of Nene Leaks up, man. Because it was just, I don't know, it was unrecognizable when I saw her. I'm like, sis, what you doing? I was shocked. I was just kind of like, damn, is it me? I was like, sis, come on, you don't need to do that. You was already beautiful. You was already teased and tan. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Like who we trying to impress, Nene? Anyway, these are the characters that Dr. Amos Wilson says that racism and white supremacy will produce. These characters that openly display this idea of self-hatred. Wally Muke Bomani Baruti calls it menticide. Our brother, Dr. Richard, what is the brother name? Bobby E. Right? I believe his name. Yeah. Called it menticide. Self-hatred. Mental genocide. And as we talked about, thanks taken, the information that I sent out was some information given to us by our good brother, Ishakamusha Barashango, when he talked about mental genocide. When he talked about the European mental genocide and European holidays, how when you celebrate the holidays, it ties you right back into who these people are. This is how come you end up hating yourself like this. What about your holidays that you need to be celebrating? No, you see, you don't want to look into that because you have a case of menticide. You probably need to lay on somebody's black couch and get it back. Menticide, mental genocide. In Wali Muke Bomani Baruti. And as we talk about that, what happened? Let's stop sharing. Let's deal with what Amos Wilson got to have to teach us.
Of Europeans. And it's in the context of that global economic power and the attendant military and other powers that the African personality is shaped. So hardly any African group, any significant African group escapes that shaping process.
There are those from the Caribbean, as in the caller, and I wanted to maybe have us talk about this, who feel that perhaps maybe people from the Caribbean, for example, because of what is projected here as a strong work ethic, coming in from out of the country, working, setting up businesses, that it may be significantly different there.
But we see the same game being played. As we talk further in this segment, we will see that all classes of black people are servants to Europeans. And whether you're middle class, upper class, if there is one, a lower class, you're from the continent or from the Caribbean, from the American system here, the basic role is the same, but and Africans at the same time.
We'll come back and we'll pick up on that point, and we'll do that right after these words. At 1190 WLIB, I see some of you already have decided that it's time to talk to Dr. Amos Wilson, and I can appreciate that.
Things African must somehow be degraded. And even in the name of progress among us, often progress is brought at the price of course, denaturing ourselves, deculturizing us.
Denaturing and deculturizing ourselves. Having to act like other people in order to fit in. Having to code switch to work on your job. Having to walk like them and talk like them. And you see it with both black men and black women. Black men having to wear the tight, stiff clothes with the high waters and the socks and the cute little shoes, having to look like white men, having to talk mannerisms like white people, so much so you're decultured, you're denatured, you're not even moving like you would normally move. And I understand you got to play that game in corporate America. I truly understand that. But when you come back home to speak your natural native tongue in your home, it becomes a problem, because now you're starting to sound like Bob and Al. You get my drift? You follow what I'm saying? What happened to the way you talk? The intonation of your voice. The mere fact that the Creator gave you an intonation in your voice is to connect with the forces of nature, so we can move some things. The voice is powerful. So for me to talk like I not normally talk, with the raspiness in my voice, and I start to talk like this here, right? You might not get the point, right? Cheers. Know what I mean? So I'm saying to you, no, you may not get it like that. I gotta say it this way in order for you to get the point, because it connects with something in you. Everybody that's tuning in from England, excuse my Cockney accent. Anyway.
In making it in the system, we have to turn loose the culture. You know, I say in my
in order to make it in the system, we have to turn loose our culture. So whatever space that Nene Leaks and the rest of these people that's lightening their skin and with the blonde hair and all that, whatever space you're operating in, obviously it's not a space that will welcome your blackness. It's not a place that's welcoming you. All right, what's wrong with wearing your hair the way it naturally grows out of your black head? I know my UK accent was jacked up. Just pardon me for that.
Forthcoming book, that the African could not be a slave and an African at the same time.
Well, you cannot be an African and a slave at the same time. It's impossible.
To the campus, maybe there might be the same reaction. How do you respond?
If some Europeans came in there and they
to lecture or whatever, you know.
Well, that's seen as par for the course. Other kinds of reactions, and it changes the nature of the business that I'm doing often with people.
From Ireland or someplace, and wherever he performed, they had on the little dress, you know, the native the dress that they have from their culture,
right.
And what was interesting was it occurred to me in seeing this, and the people who had this on were like the record executives from the area. And this was a real thing. They were greeting him in their ethnic apparel.
Yeah.
He was talking about how black entertainers have to go abroad in order to make money. And then when they go abroad, they tend to morph into the culture to please the culture in which they're performing in. And sometimes they have to dress like the Scottish. They have to dress like the Irish people. They have to dress and wear different things, or kimono and other things when they go abroad. But when those other people come here to perform in front of us, They don't do these things. Guideline UK, I know. It's sad. I know what you're talking about, bro. So they don't have to do these things. So let's see how Amos Wilson answered that.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, the same shot in Africa with something very, very ethnic would produce another kind of reaction.
A completely different impression. Often in the process of doing business, as I go downtown, I get immediate reactions when I wear my African cap. You know, it's a whole different thing there. And so I can almost manipulate the behavior of the people I deal with by the way I dress. And if I put on my cap, I get quite a few negative reactions or fear reactions.
Dr. Amos Wilson is talking about an Afrocentric, African-centered cap that he wears sometimes, and it's made out of African print. Sometimes it's kente cloth, sometimes it's some other things. But he's saying he normally gets a negative reaction, as opposed to when he doesn't wear it and he puts on a suit and tie, it's no problem. He's able to navigate through in the field that he's in, which is education. Let's skip further down.
Seems to be helpless for the moment.
One loves God above all else, so that all else has no power.
One loves God above all else, and everything else has no power. That's another trick that they played on when we talk about the falsification of African consciousness. Where's your black gods? Before they introduce you to their white gods, where's your black god? Answer this question for yourself.
Much more realistic reason as to why we are in the position we are today.
It's interesting. I mean, it gets into as you think, so shall you be. Indeed. WLIB. You're on the air right now with Professor Amos Wilson. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, hi. You know, it's coincidental that I just started reading Dr. Wilson's book today.
Thank you.
And I turned the radio on, coming out of school, and I heard it on.
Great.
Because I'm doing a course in educational, psychology. And, we were studying Skinner's stimulus response theories, which I had a lot of problems with.
A question for our guests very quickly, if you can, too.
How can you reconcile, Skinner's, stimulus response, theories, with, the self-hatred?
Okay.
We have just a few seconds before news.
Oh, I see. Okay, because I'd like to pursue
Why don't we hold in, and we'll ask this caller to stand by. We'll take a break. This was the first phase of his campaign to reorient the minds of his people. Now, he appealed to all Negro, quote-unquote, newspaper publishers and owners to stop carrying skin bleaching and hair straightening advertisements, as they tended to make our people feel that to be somebody, they must try to look like white people.
In order for you to be somebody, you have to look like white people. In order for you to be somebody, you have to look like white people? No. Who were we before white people came on the planet? You ever think about that? Maybe something's going on with my glasses. I can't see y'all's comment correctly, because a lot of these things I'm throwing out, I don't even see no real answers from y'all. Who were we before we even met white people?
Businessmen became angry with him. They were well paid for pictorial advertisements. Subscriptions cannot, quote, carry a newspaper, and they had no intention to run a paper on sentiment. As the thoughts in the slogan, again, quote, Negro, be yourself, gained more adherents, the tone of the advertisements was changed. So in every phase of life that subjugated their true self, he attacked it. Said he, take down the pictures of white women from your walls and elevate your own women to that place of honor. They are...
Brothers, did you hear that? Take down the pictures of white people, especially white women, from your walls. When I say your walls, I'm about the walls of your mind. All right? And put pictures of your own women up. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
are for the most part the burden bearers of the race. And mothers, give your children dolls that look like them to play with and cuddle. They will learn as they grow older to love and care for their own children and not neglect them. Men and women, he continued, God made us as his perfect creation. He made no mistake when he made us black with kinky hair. It was divine purpose for us to live in our natural habitat, the tropical zones of the earth. Forget the white man's banter that he made us in the night and forgot to paint us white. That we were brought here against our will is just a natural process of the strong enslaving the weak. We have outgrown slavery, but our minds are still enslaved to the thinking of the master race. Now, take these kinks out of your mind instead of out of your hair. You are capable of all that is common to men of other races. So let us start now to build big business, commerce, industry, and eventually a nation of our own to protect us wherever we choose to live. A beggar race can never be respected. Stop begging for jobs and create your own. Look around you, and wherever you see the need for factories and business, supply it. Stop begging for a chance. Make it yourself, and remember that God helps those who help themselves. Said a Southern woman after she had joined the organization, Garvey is giving my people backbones where they had wishbones. No man had spoken to them like this before. Wherever he went, he stirred something.
Conditioning.
African people. Our guest, Professor Amos Wilson, professor of psychology at the New York Institute of Technology and also at the College of New Rochelle. He's also author of the book, The Developmental Psychology of the Black Child. Professor Wilson, we had a guest who, or rather a caller just a few moments ago who raised an area with Skinner, I do believe.
Very, very important area, because the topic of what we call Skinnerian conditioning, instrumental conditioning, is a standard topic raised in psychology. The essence of Skinnerian conditioning, or sometimes SR psychology, particularly of Skinner's type, named after B.F. Skinner, Harvard professor, who didn't so much discover new principles as just codify ways of behaving and consequences that already existed. The essence of it is that behavior is controlled by its consequences. Okay. That behavior that brings good consequences tends to be repeated and increased in frequency and probability of occurrence. Behavior that's followed by negative consequences tend to be decreased or eliminated. And a very simple but very powerful.
Basically, what Dr. Amos Wilson is talking about is the whole idea of Skinner's box, where he trained mice and rats. Stimulus and response. The bell ring, the door lifts up, the rat or the mice goes through the maze to find the cheese, gets the cheese, the mice or the rat is rewarded. Bell rings, light comes on, mice find the cheese, get rewarded. Bell ring, light come on, mice goes to the maze, gets the cheese, gets rewarded. Are you following where I'm going with this? Bell rings. Boxing, football, a whole idea, the concept of the dropping of the hat. You know what the dropping of the hat is. When a race was about to start, people were making so much noise before they rang a bell or shot the gun. What they would do was take the hat, drop it, it would hit the ground. That's when the runners take off. But that's a whole different story. I'm saying to you, though, the stimulus and the response. What is the stimulus? All right? What did black people start calling money? Guap, cheese, right? In order for you to get the cheese, all right, you have to be able to go through the maze. What's the maze? I defy anyone right now to go on Google and look at an aerial view of the project and tell me that wasn't the maze that we had to navigate through in order to get the cheese. So what is the stimulus now? The stimulus is now is deculturalize, denature yourself. Look like us, come get our jobs, work for us all your life. And then, yeah, look like us, move like us, walk like us, and talk like us. Stimulus. What is the response? will give you a paycheck for you to barely live.
Principle, and that's really the essence of it. And conditioning involves, to a good extent, you see, manipulating reward and punishment.
Who is it that conducts and holds the key of reward and punishment? They do. They're the ones that will reward you. They're the ones that will punish you. Look at music. They reward, they give you a award, and award that's really a reward for you keeping the people blind, deaf, and dumb. And the people that really speak truth on their records, they're punished.
In order to bring about particular changes in behavior, you see. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very, very important psychology that many black students are educated in and don't understand at all.
What's the twist on it in terms of self-hatred?
The twist is the essence of power. You see, at first, this psychology is often presented in terms of a rat. Okay, you put a rat in a box or in some condition, and if it behaves in a certain way, you give it something to eat, you give it something to drink.
Put a rat in the projects, and if it behaves in a certain kind of way, you give it something to eat. Follow me now. Food stamps.
Okay, that's a reward. If it behaves in a way you don't want it to behave, you give it an electric shock, punish it, or don't give it food.
Punish it. No job. No way to feed yourself. So you take to the streets and you feed your family death. You feed your people death on the street corner, selling drugs, killing people, robbing, murdering, and all these other kind of things. See, it's the falsification of African consciousness. It's the miseducation of the Negro. All right? And all these books I presented today, you should already have in your library. We should already know this stuff. All right? Most of y'all have been brainwashed.
So, of course, because it wants to eat, and of course, you make sure you've starved it before you put it in to the system. So if it wants to eat and so forth, it eventually learns the relationship between certain behavior and certain consequences.
It learns because it's been conditioned. The rat knows certain kind of behavior will get a certain kind of reward. So if I change my skin, change my hair, change my thinking, talk like them, walk like them, and move like them, I will get rewarded. What is the reward? I'll end up in corporate America, making more money than my black man is making. And then I can come home. Now the family structure is all torn apart now, because now you in corporate America looking like white women, all right? When you and your husband, all right, balancing the family out, dealing with the laws of Ma'at, truth, balance, justice, reciprocity, and order. Balance. But now, because you're making a few more extra dollars now, you getting sassy at the mouth. And your behavior is to the point where now you can't even discipline your children without sounding like them. I'll bet you Nene Leakes came back home and her children like, Mom, where's mommy? That ain't mommy. I'm not picking on you, Nene. I'm just saying to you. Anyway, that's another subject for another time. We've been brainwashed. And if we understand what Dr. Amos Wilson is saying in the psychology of self-hatred, we would understand this trick is being played over and over. I'm even shocked that in 2024, we even playing this bleaching a goddamn skin game and wearing blonde hair. I done stood a couple of chicks up, man. Pull up to go pick them up at their house, call myself going on a date. Looked out the window, saw them coming out with the blonde hair and pull off.
So if by standing up on its two hind feet, it gets fed, it will stand up on its two hind feet much more frequently than before the system was put into order, you see. So the rat is conditioned by living under those circumstances. The experimenter...
Yeah. If that young lady is on here, yeah. I ain't mention your name, but I'm just saying to you, you came out the goddamn house with a whole blonde goddamn wig on. What am I supposed to do? I'm seeing you come out there, so I'm like, absolutely not. I busted a donut, man. I was like, I'm out of here. You crazy. You out your goddamn mind. Because if I wanted to take a woman out, a black woman with blonde hair, I might as well go get the goddamn white woman.
Who has control of the rat, you see, can create.
No, sis. I want you. Yup, muffin top and all. Yup, the kinky, nappy kitchen stuff. I'll take that. The beautiful black skin, the melanated skin, I'll take that too. The way you move, the way you walk, even a little bit of sassiness in the way you kind of talk, but that's all right. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to take all of that and then some. All right? I don't care if you from 18 to 80, young, dumb, blind, crippled, and crazy. Short, big butt, no butt, tall, lanky legs, overweight, underweight. You black, I got you, though. We can work on everything else. But I'm saying to you, stepping out the house with blonde hair? Absolutely goddamn not.
Certain behaviors reinforce certain behaviors in the rat by determining which behaviors will be rewarded and which will be punished.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where black students are miseducated in these psychology classes is that often the lesson is left right there. Okay.
And we have to leave the lesson right there, family. All right. Please get Dr. Amos Wilson's work, The Psychology of Self-Hatred, so we can inform our people. If you want any information dealing with this particular subject we were dealing with today, please send me an email or just text me, 678-557-2919. All right? Make a small donation so I can get this information out to you. I'm putting my phone number in here, 557-2919. Griff. Listen, the information ain't doing me no good, me having it and you don't have it. You might as well have it. Hit me up and say, Griff, I need the information. Send me an email at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. I'll get the information that I have over to you. If nothing else, get you the list of books. If nothing else, get you the book about black inventors. I'll get you the book about black people invented everything. I won't get you the book. I'll get you how to get the book. The Falsification of African Consciousness, Toms, Coons, Mulattoes, Mammies, and Bucks. Menticide, Miseducation of the Negro, Brainwash. All right. Last but not least, please write this one down, fam. This one is hard to get. Mine is falling apart. Man. Psychotechnology of brainwashing. This is what they did to us. It's the psychotechnology of brainwashing is what they did to us. You have to study B.F. Skinner and what they did with experimenting with these rats. All right. This is why in hip hop they call the black woman hood rats. And I'm gonna leave that right there. This is Professor Grip. I love y'all to life. All right. Revolution is not an event. It's a process. All right. If you want, I think there's a sale going on now. Let me make sure I got the information right. I put the information at the bottom of the screen. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. I put the information at the bottom of the screen. If you want any of the elixirs, any of these two, all right? Resurrection Formula and the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. Go to www.devitribewellness.com. DEVI. Tribe, TRIBE, wellness, WELLNESS, Devi Tribe Wellness, www.devitribewellness. All right. Resurrection Formula and Serious Minds Brain Tonic. All right, you got to order it from Devi Tribe Wellness. My website is being worked on, so you have to go get it from Soleil's website. Resurrection Formula and Serious Minds Brain Time. It's Professor Griff, of course, yo brother, yo soldier. All right, hold on. Yo soldier. All right, on duty. Love y'all to life, man. It's Professor Griff. Peace, fam. Mm-hmm.